Alright, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is going to be a response to a video which I posted about a year now. And basically the subject of that video was whether we actually own our 90% silver or not. And in that video I came to the conclusion that, well, no, we don't actually, and that it's owned by the government and that we're entitled to the face value of the coin and not the actual coin itself. Now, over that time, I've received a lot of comments and a lot of good feedback from that, and I'm basically choosing now to respond to those comments and really basically change my opinion. I know I sort of left that video thinking that 90% was the worst thing that you can possibly do, and that you really should stay away from it at all costs and go into bullion. But I just would like to sort of revise that. I know it's taken me a year to do so, but whatever. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. So let me start off talking about the video that is basically, this video is a response to the video that I'm going to be talking about. So that video was basically based off of two main points. One which still holds true. The second which actually is incorrect, and I'll get to that in just a second. The first point is, obviously still holds, that you don't actually own this coin. So let me just get one as a prop here. You don't actually own this coin in its current state. Right? This is owned by the U.S. government, as I said, and it's facilitated for trade. And the actual coin itself is property of the U.S. government. So in this current state, I don't own it. Right? So that's fact. We know that. We've got that from sort of the horse's mouth, I think is the proper expression. And that was from that article that I linked in that previous video. The second point, which was really key in me coming to the conclusion that you really should stay away from 90%, was the fact that you can't actually melt it. And I assumed that you couldn't actually melt it. Because I was basing that off of copper pennies, because obviously you can't melt copper pennies, and so I applied that to that same thing to 90% silver, which is actually incorrect. And as I've learned over the past couple of months, that melting 90% is actually a fairly common thing, as far as I know, at least as far as my research has told me, and it happens, really happens quite often. So. And basically what this says is you're allowed to melt it. So currently, I don't own this. But technically, if I were to melt this down into like a little, bar or whatever, or melt all these down to a bar, although I wouldn't actually, because these, since they're Benjamin Franklin and Walkers, Walking Liberty half dollars, they have a higher premium and would actually make me more money if I were to sell them in this current state than if I were just to melt them and melt them into 90% bars. But you get my point. In its current state, I don't actually own it. But I can melt it and then subsequently own it. So in that video, I guess, I was assuming that, since it's property of the U.S. government, you basically can't destroy it. Because that's basically what you're doing. You're taking something that's not yours, you're changing it into something, and then you're saying that it's yours. And that's, I assume that was illegal, but whatever. So you can actually melt it, and so basically what I'm trying to say is I really think that 90% is something that you should consider collecting. So I'm sort of doing a 180 from what my previous thought was. And it's ironic the fact that it's one of my, if not the most popular video on my channel currently, at least the most popular coin video on my channel. So this video was a long time coming. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. And actually, you know what? There's one other thing I wanted to say really quickly. Since this melting is going on, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a Silverfish video where he talked about, I'm sure you've seen it already, where he talked about the Internet Time Machine and how you can go back and see Bullion Dealers websites and see all their prices from a couple of years ago. So I did it, and I checked Provident Metals website from I believe it was 2010, early 2010, and I checked their 90% silver, and the premium over spot was about 89 cents, or it was about 80 cents, I think. Now the premium is about $2.50, or at least about $2.50. So in the last 3 years, it's really, basically almost tripled. And if that trend continues, it really could, the next 5 to 10 years, that premium can get a lot higher, something like almost $5 over spot. And that, at least I assume, is because the fact that people are melting them down, and as silver gets more scarce, and as we look for alternative ways to get silver, the governments or someone else or whatever might decide that 90% silver will be the best choice to get silver and start a big melt and drive the premium and ultimately the price through the roof. So anyway, that's really all I want to talk about. I just want to say that 90% silver isn't something that's incredibly stupid, as I alluded to in that previous video, and that it's something that you really should take a look at, simply because of the fact that even though you don't own it currently, if worse came to worse, you could actually melt it. It's perfectly within your right as an American. Or I guess it doesn't really, you don't really have to be American, but whatever. It's perfectly within your right to take these coins in this video right here, these coins, and throw them into a furnace and melt them. But copper pennies are obviously a different story. So thanks for watching this video. Remember to subscribe to support the channel, like this video, leave me a comment as always. I received a lot of comments over this past year on that video, obviously. So really like to hear you guys' thoughts on this. And thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you all next time. Take care, everybody.